Let us breathe deeply into this process that we have been endeavoring to follow, integrating the 3 techniques given by Master Dwalkul in Glamour, a World Problem, published by Lucis Trust. As we prepare for the integration of the techniques of indifference, to prepare for achieving the meditative attitude of the technique of the presence, we orient and align first to the current world situation. We reflect in the light of the present world crisis, and each of us in the light of our own soul personality problem. We recognize that advanced humanity stands as the dweller on the very threshold of divinity. The angel stands expectant, absorbed in the presence, yet ready to absorb the dweller. Humanity has advanced in consciousness to the very boundaries of the world of spiritual values and the kingdom of light and of God. The angel has come to earth in expectation of recognition, an event of which the advent of Christ 2,000 years ago was the symbol and the precursor. This is a situation where all advanced aspirants are concerned. It can be ours. It is the situation also where humanity as a whole is concerned, and the approaching hierarchy. The consciousness of humanity from the higher and spiritual standpoint functions today through the steadily growing band of world servers, world aspirants, and world disciples, and their name is Legion. Humanity today is the dweller, whilst the hierarchy of souls is the angel, and behind stands the presence of divinity itself, intuited by the hierarchy and dimly sensed by humanity, but providing in this manner that threefold synthesis which is divine manifestation in form. Today we will focus on indifference and begin with some of the teachings from Master Dwalkul. What is indifference? It means in reality the achieving of a neutral attitude towards that which is regarded as the not self. It involves a repudiation of similarity. It marks the recognition of a basic distinction. It signifies refusal to be identified with anything save the spiritual reality, as far as that is sensed and known at any given point in time and space. It is therefore a much stronger and vital thing than what is usually meant when the word is used. It is active repudiation without any concentration upon that which is repudiated. Your problem is not to get rid of difficulties, Master Dwalkul told his disciples, but simply to be indifferent as to whether they exist or not. learn that divine indifference, which you need, indifference to yourself and to your personality interests, likes and dislikes, indifference to your cares, anxieties, and successes. Let us begin with a brief study of the third aspect of illusion, to which we give the name Maya, and to the technique which can overcome it. We will deal next with the technique of indifference, which is concerned with the distribution of soul force upon the physical plane via the etheric plane, leading to inspiration. This is related to the science of the breath. What then is Maya? Dwalkul goes on to say this is not easy to define because it is related to the form-building activity of the planetary logos himself. The soul creates a threefold expression in the three worlds of human living. The outer form, the dual physical body, dense and vital or etheric, is produced, created, motivated, energized, and conditioned by certain energies and forces emanating from those levels whereon the soul has, rightly or wrongly, engineered a reaction of identification. He says, note this phrase. Let us read it again. The soul creates a threefold expression in the three worlds of human living. The outer form, which is the dual physical body, the dense and vital, or etheric. This outer form is produced, created, motivated, energized, and conditioned by certain energies and forces emanating from those levels whereon the soul has, rightly or wrongly, engineered a reaction of identification. These make us what we are. These give us our temperament, profession, and quality upon the physical plane. These make us each uniquely negative or positive to various types of impacting energy. These give us our character and make us what we appear to be to others. These produce our coloring, our capacities, and our personalities. With all of these, the average person identifies the self, the little self, the not self, and believes the self to be the form, the medium through which the personality attempts to express the desires and ideas. This complete identification with the transient creation and with the outer appearance is Maya. And it must be remembered that individual Maya is but a fractional part of the world of energies and forces which constitute the life expression of the planetary logos, which condition our outer planetary life and make our planet what it appears to be to the other planets. Let us attempt to achieve the deepest understanding that we can possibly achieve at our point in evolution of this challenge of indifference to this threefold expression in the three worlds of human living. As we seek to achieve identification with the soul. The difference between man, woman, the microcosm, and the planetary logos, the Lord of the world, the macrocosm, lies in the fact that the Lord of the world is not identified with the Maya which he has created and which has its purpose in eventually bringing about the release of the prisoners of the planet. To that Maya, the Lord of the world, our planetary logos, is supremely indifferent. And it is this divine indifference which has led to the great theological illusion of an anthropomorphic deity, and to the belief in the East that our planet is but the background or a plaything of the gods. It is this cosmic indifference which has led to the human glamour concerning the inscrutable will of God, and to the affirmation that God is far away and not immanent in every creature and in every atom of which creatures are made. So thus, we turn that statement into the affirmation that God is in every creature. God is in every atom of which every creature is made. These are some aspects of the glamours and illusions which must be dispelled and dissipated, and in the process, discovery will be made that the form is only Maya and can be disregarded, that forces can be organized and directed by energy, and that the world of thought, the field of sentient consciousness, and the playground of the energies are something apart from the thinker, from the one who feels, and from the actor and player of the many parts which the soul undertakes to play. In our previous sessions together, we've emphasized how the soul qualities radiate into and through the three lower vehicles: mind, emotions, and etheric physical body. As we look at this challenge to identify the glamours and illusions, we are in the process of discovering that the form is only Maya and can be disregarded. And yet, we have a responsibility to direct and control the lower vehicles for the purposes of achieving soul consciousness and to assist others in that process of achieving soul consciousness. The disciple learns eventually to know the self to be above all else, while in incarnation, the director of forces. These we direct from the altitude of the divine observer and through the attainment of detachment. So this is from Glamour, a World Problem, in the section on indifference, where DK tells us that we must direct from the altitude of the divine observer and through the attainment of detachment. And we do so by practicing the three techniques: the technique of indifference, the technique of light, and the technique of the presence. These are things which DK says he has oft told us before. These truths are for us only the platitudes of occultism, and yet, if we could grasp the full significance of detachment and stand serene as the observing director, there would be no more wasted motion, no more mistaken moves, and no more false interpretations. No wandering down the bypaths of daily living. No seeing others through distorted and prejudiced vision. And above all, no more misuse of force. Are we ready to take on this challenge? We seek, in our work together, in this practice of integrating the three techniques, to achieve the altitude of the divine observer and the attainment of detachment. Walkul goes on to tell us in Glamour, a World Problem, again and again down the ages, the masters have told their disciples that the occultist works in the world of forces. All human beings live and move and express themselves in and through that same world of ever-moving, ever-impacting, outgoing, and incoming energies. The occultist, however, works there. The occultist becomes a conscious, directing agent. The occultist creates upon the physical plane that which is desired, and that which is desired is the pattern of things and the design laid down upon the trestle board of the spiritual consciousness by the great divine architect. Therefore, we together, in integrating the techniques, are moving toward points of revelation of what design and pattern is being laid down upon the trestle board of the spiritual consciousness by the great divine architect. Yet the occultist identifies not with the pattern or with the forces employed. The occultist moves in the world of Maya, free from all illusion, unhindered by glamour, and uncontrolled by the Mayavic forces. The occultist is rapidly arriving, as far as their own little world is concerned, at the same divine indifference which characterizes Sanat Kumara, the Lord of the world. Therefore, increasingly, the occultist becomes aware of the plan as it exists in the universal mind and the purpose which motivates the will of God. We are all involved on a daily basis in groups, moving together to awaken soul consciousness in humanity and to offer succor to those who are suffering, those who have not yet built a relationship to the point that the soul can be birthed in their awakened consciousness. So we move through our meditations in an effort to achieve for ourselves the greatest state of indifference and detachment, so that we can offer, by thinking these teachings into the minds of humanity, an opening of the door and onto the path of initiation. We recognize the need to progress in learning, understanding, and utilizing the technique of the presence as individuals and in small groups focused on certain thought forms of solution. So we continue in our effort to assist disciples and initiates at large in expanding the practice of the technique of the presence from the altitude of that divine observer to allow the existing and newly formed groups to progress from a focus on group glamour to the dissipation of world glamour using the technique of light. In this way, we are ever expanding the field of endeavor for humanity to blot out the dweller on the threshold and reveal the angel absorbed in the presence, standing ready to absorb the dweller. This is the goal of the incoming Aquarian age. So let us move through the stages of the technique of the presence with some rapidity, so that we can focus today on stage 7, 8, and 9. We evoke first the stage of tension as basic and essential for complete control of the personal self, so that it is fitted for contact with the real. We achieve a point of indifference. We achieve a state of fusion with the soul or with the angel guarding the approach to the path of the higher evolution, so that we can proceed as individuals to the point of our current successful orientation and achievement, and we can assist as group members all those on the path. We hold the mind steady in the light of the soul, which remains the attitude of the lower self for the entire remaining period of work, held at a point of tension by the soul and not by an effort of the personality. For the soul undertakes this holding when the personal self has done its utmost to achieve the desired tension, focused, immovable will in all circumstances. To be ready to proceed with a formula using a more advanced meditation attitude, not form. With this attitude, we achieve a definite and sustained effort to sense the presence throughout the universe in all forms and in all presentations of truth. It is the effort primarily to see in the light which the angel radiates the point of light behind all phenomenal appearances. Then, having sensed the presence, not theoretically, but in vibrating response to its existence, vibrating response of the soul personality to the existence of the presence, we approach the stage of the ascertaining of the purpose. Knowing the purpose is passive. Pausing to fuse the soul qualities of the integrated personality into direct alignment with the angel of the presence in your own experience. Visualize the soul qualities lifted on beams of light in perfect alignment with the soul and the angel. Visualize all the group and those in all the groups in which you serve, beaming these soul qualities in direct alignment with the angel. We are concerned with the effort to achieve an understanding that which through the medium of form the soul and the angel of the presence aligned can achieve through the medium of the form, which is our soul vehicle, causal body, egoic lotus, in a perfect state of divine indifference, controls the personality vehicle, and can embody the high purpose at this particular point in the evolutionary cycle. This way is revealed to us as disciples, even though it may not concern the intuitive message which we may bring back from our high adventure. We stand at a point of complete self-forgetfulness, utter harmlessness. Now we attune our attitude to the sixth stage of the technique, moving from imaginative receptivity and discovery to the focus on the lights of the presence in a higher interlude. Carry some world problem. It may be a world situation. It may be a glamour that is related to a world glamour. For the helping of humanity into what is esoterically called the triple light of the intuition. So we carry this world problem into a triple light, blending the light of the personal self focused in the mind, the light of the soul focused now in the angel, and the universal light which the presence emits. There is a vibratory response with this blending. The light of the mind and the lower self is all merged with the light of the soul focused in the angel, and bringing in the universal light which the presence emits. Know the vibratory response having achieved this through concentration and long practice. The first result may be a sudden dawning upon your waiting mind, remaining the agent of reception, the answer to the problem of Maya, glamour, and illusion. Dawning upon the waiting mind, a clue to that which is needed to bring relief to humanity. The information desired, which when applied will unlock some door. It may be in the realm of science, psychology, religion. It may be in the realm of services that may be related to clearing the fogs and the illusions that hinder humanity. You may receive a glimpse of a true thought form of solution for humanity. The vibration expands out when this door is opened. This vibration brings relief and release. You may recognize, you may realize, to some extent on the level of your soul consciousness, your soul purpose in relation to the devitalizing of Maya, the dispelling of glamour, dissipating of glamour, and the dispelling of illusion. Hold this alignment that it becomes more real with each point of concentrated energy, and the door opens wider with prolonged practice. And the eventual revelation of purpose. Purpose being that passive, awaiting intention of your soul to serve. You may note any relationship to the dissipation of any world glamours that you may have noted, and the underlying basic glamour that has hindered humanity. One of those is fear. This requires the illumination of spiritual courage. The fundamental glamour of humanity in our dual system, the glamour of separativeness, requiring the transformation of that separativeness into unity through enlightenment. And the fundamental glamour of this fifth root race, fifth subrace, materialism, which requires the release of all attachments to personal and group physical forms, inhibiting humanity's enlightenment and progress. Thus the need to practice the technique of indifference. DK tells us that the intuition, this triple light of the intuition, is never concerned with individual problems or inquiries, as so many uninformed or self-centered aspirants think. It is purely impersonal and only applicable to humanity in a synthetic sense. So for those who are moving toward the third initiation and have not yet passed this initiation, this intruding agent of light provides direction, a kind of inner template. It is like the demonstration of a reasoning capacity to pursue action with absolute purity of intention. This leads to an authentic, soul-guided response that is based on the principle of directed purpose, which actuates in the three subtle ray embodiments, the monadic spark, the life, the ray of the monad, the quality of the soul light, and the appearance, the personality expression as soul infused. With complete self-forgetfulness, utter harmlessness, and right speech. We will work together to identify, using this meditative attitude of the technique of the presence, to recognize and realize the increases in intensity, and with the greater clarity over time in alignment with our soul purpose, we will identify world glamour in a way that will serve humanity and will draw on all the qualities that our group members have to dissipate world glamour. A second result of the technique of the presence occurs as an intruding agent of light is recognized by one to whom can be entrusted some revelation. And we're told that these revelations will move forward and become the new impartations of truth as the Aquarian age unfolds. And they will provide a significant expansion from a seed of truth already given to us. These will meet the requirements to dissipate glamour, dispel illusion, and achieve a state of divine indifference in group formation. We each, in our own experience, can possibly identify the group and world glamours that the soul intends for us to dissipate in group formation. So on this note, let us continue and review stage 7 of the technique of the presence, which DK says the next few stages are called in preparation for the revelation. So let us prepare the relinquishing of the higher way, the return to the angel and refocusing in the soul, a pause or interlude for constructive thinking under the influence of the angel, the turning of the mind to the formulation of those forms of thought which must embody the revelation, and then a pause, which is called the pause preceding presentation. So let us consider, with the triple light focused, relinquishing the higher way, bringing our thought to the angel, or a refocusing in the soul light. And then under the influence of the angel, you will pause for a brief period of constructive thinking related to the world problem. And then under the influence of the angel, you'll turn the mind to the formulation of forms of thought, remembering always we have reviewed the 15 rules of thought prior to embodying any forms of the revelation. And this has no connection to the personality. Pausing again, preceding the presentation. Complete impersonality. Practice this stage without making anything, and allow complete detachment. Over time, with concentration and with practice, you may be able to bring through a flash of this intuitive light. Stage 8. The presentation of the revelation or of the imparted truth and its precipitation into the world of illusion comes next. In that world of illusion, the mental plane, it undergoes the fiery ordeal wherein some of the fire within that which is revealed wings its way back to the source from whence it came. Some of it serves to destroy the revealer, and some to burn those who recognize the revelation. This is a phase of Agni Yoga, which, as you can see, is only for those who can penetrate beyond the angel into the place where fire dwelleth, and where God, the Presence, functions as a consuming fire and waits for the hour of total revelation. This is a symbolic rendering of a great truth. In the case of the individual initiate, the third initiation, the transfiguration, marks the consummation of the process. Only glory then is seen. Only the voice of the Presence is heard, and union with the past, the present, and the future is reached. And the ninth stage, the succumbing of the revelation to the prevailing illusion, its descent into the world of glamour, and its subsequent disappearance as a revelation and its emergence as a doctrine. But in the meantime, humanity has been helped and led forward. The intuitives continue to work, and the inflow of that which is to be revealed never ceases. So let us turn our focus to the ashrams and endeavor to create this great channel of light, the Antakarana. DK tells us in Brazen Initiations, an ashram has in it disciples and initiates at all points of evolutionary development and of all grades and degrees. These all work together in perfect unison. And yet, within their differentiated ranks, for each degree stands alone yet united with all the others, with their own established rapport, their coded telepathic interplay, and a shared occult secrecy and silence which guard the secrets and knowledges of one grade from another and from the unready. Similarly, when an aspirant seeking upon the physical plane to find those who will share with him or her the mystery of their next immediate step or demonstrated expansion, discovers their own group, they will find that it has in it those who have not reached their particular point of wisdom, and those also who have already left them far behind. The aspirant will be drawn into a vortex of force and a field of service simultaneously. The aspirant will be drawn into a vortex of force and a field of service simultaneously. One might, with conjecture, state that those drawn to this work of integrating the three techniques have possibly experienced this being drawn into a vortex of force, for all of these techniques have a quality of simultaneousness and cycles involving all three, as DK has told us. We learn, therefore, the lessons required by one who is to work in an ashram, and we will know how to handle ourselves with those who may not yet share with us the secrets which we already know, and with those who have penetrated deeper into the mysteries than we have. Thus the necessity for us to continue to build the Antakarana and work in group formation. Note a thought form that has dropped into your consciousness in relation to the integration of the three techniques. And how might you think these teachings into the minds of humanity? Master Dwalkul tells us that the moment we emerge out of that illusion of the lower self, and we are no longer subject to glamour and to the effect of the world Maya, that moment, the motion of the great wheel of life is reversed. And then we begin slowly and laboriously to work in the opposite direction. We then pass through the signs from Aries to Pisces. We begin patiently and consciously to function as a soul struggling towards the light until we finally emerge at the end of the path in Pisces as a world victor and a world savior far ahead of us all. The disciple then knows the significance of the triumph over death because the disciple has surmounted and overcome desire. This reversal of the way that we travel through the signs of the zodiac necessitates a readjustment of the method employed by astrologers when they're casting a horoscope for senior disciples, senior aspirants, disciples, and initiates. So many will need to face the challenge of what we think we know of our path and what we think we know of the reversal of the wheel and what we think we know about these advanced charts that will be developed. So the technique of the presence, this basic technique, underlies both primary and secondary revelations. In the case of the first, the time cycle is long. In the second, DK says the time cycle is short. A very good instance of this process is demonstrated by one of the secondary points of revelation, where the time was short, in connection with the teaching which emanated from the hierarchy, the custodian of secondary revelations, as Shambhala is of primary revelations. More than 50 years ago, it was actually over 100 years ago, which took the form of the secret doctrine, where Blavatsky was the penetrating, sensing, appropriating intuitive. The revelation that she conveyed followed the accustomed routine of all secondary revelation from the source to the outer plane. There the minds of men and women, veiled the illusion and clouded by glamour, formulated it into an inelastic doctrine. Recognizing no further revelation and holding steadily, many of the theosophical groups, that the secret doctrine was the final revelation and that not must be recognized but that book and not deemed correct, but their interpretations of that book. If they are correct, then evolutionary revelation is ended and the plight of humanity is hard indeed. I included this because DK is really telling us that we know now that Alice Bailey brought the secondary revelation forward, and that has become by some veiled by illusion and clouded by glamour and formulated into an inelastic doctrine. And yet we are told that there will be another secondary revelation that will come forward in the emerging Aquarian age. So let us hold lightly the ideas that we have become accustomed to holding and open to the technique of the presence so that we can bring through the highest light that we are capable of receiving, understanding, and utilizing, knowing that comprehension occurs on the much higher levels. So let it be, and help us to do our part in alignment with the one world serving group. We endeavor to connect, that is the third aspect, and unify the second aspect, telepathically the first aspect, with the multiplicity of groups serving as part of the one world serving group. And we're told by Master Dwal Kul, their names are legion. Let us continue to open the door. Our goal in using and integrating the technique of the presence, we seek to learn a new rhythm, to enter a new field of experience, and to follow the steps of that advanced humanity who have trodden ahead of us on the path, leading from darkness to light, from the unreal to the real. We have tasted the joys of life in the world of illusion and have learnt their powerlessness to satisfy and hold us. Now we are in a state of transition between the new and the old states of being. We are vibrating between the condition of soul awareness and soul form awareness. We are seeing double. Our spiritual perception grows slowly and surely as the brain becomes capable of illumination from the soul via the mind. As the intuition develops, the radius of awareness grows and new fields of knowledge unfold. So let us affirm as part of the one world serving group. The souls of all are one, and we are one with them. We seek to love, not hate. We seek to serve and not exact to service. We seek to heal, not hurt. Let pain bring due reward of light and love. Let the soul control the outer form and life and all events, and bring to light the love that underlies the happenings of the time. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate and outer cleavages be gone. Let love prevail. Let all people love. Thank you. And please use the technique of the presence with the greatest point of indifference that you are able to achieve. And continue in this soul service with all the groups with which you serve.